How's it going, everyone? Thank you all so much for watching Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great Thursday so far, and as well as a great start to your day. And today is March 6th, 2025, and in today's forecast, we are going to be talking about some more large storms that are going to be coming to the United States over the next couple of weeks, and these could bring a lot of impacts, as not only could we be seeing the potential for more severe weather like what we just got done dealing with over the past few days, but we could also be dealing with more blizzard conditions, as some of these storms could contain a lot of heavy snowfall on the northern side of those systems, and we could even be seeing the potential for more strong winds as well that aren't produced by storms. So it's not looking good as we get into the next few weeks, and we are going to be watching all those storms very closely, as some of them are going to be on the stronger side of things. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we are here to keep you all safe and prepared before and after big storms roll on through. And another thing I recommend doing is turning on all notifications, as we will try to be live on this channel whenever there's a big severe weather event roll on through. So consider doing that if you haven't done that already. Make sure to also help get the word out to everyone by liking today's video and sharing it with friends, family, or anyone who you know on social media. I definitely appreciate it. Let's first start off by going over the future radar, and you guys can see that we are going to be tracking a pretty big storm system as we get into the end of next week. If you're wondering about these ones aren't really going to be doing much at the end of this week and into the beginning of next week. Just going to bring some spotty rain showers, perhaps a few isolated snow showers to parts of the deep south, and as well as the southern plains especially, and that will only bring a few thunderstorms at the most, so we aren't really concerned about that one as we get into the beginning of next week. But as we get into the end of next week, we will be tracking a little bit of a storm threat across parts there of the deep south, and as well as the Ohio Valley, and this one could bring a little bit of severe weather, especially to those areas across the deep south. So this is going to be a little bit of a heads up for you guys as we get into the end of next week, before even a larger storm starts to roll on through. Right after that one, we could be seeing even a larger storm rolling on through, which could potentially bring some blizzard conditions on the backside of that system, as we're kind of going to have a cold front kind of shaped like this, as that cold air is going to try to surge on in right behind the system, making some of that rain turn into snow, and then we're going to have all this warm air surge on in from the Gulf, which is really going to cause some pretty big issues, as we could be seeing the potential for some pretty big severe weather events. And you guys can see that when we take a look at lightning flash rate, we could be seeing some widespread severe weather across the Central Plains, back over there into the Midwest, continuing into the Ohio Valley, maybe even some isolated severe thunderstorm threat even up here into the southern Great Lakes, which could be possible. But from what we know so far, though, the worst of it is still going to be across those areas a little farther down to the south, but we will still need to watch it very closely, as even places like Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, even over there into Mississippi, and even back down there into eastern Texas could all experience damaging winds, large hail, especially where you see those white colors, and also some tornado potential could also unfold with the system as we get into the end of next week. And then after that heads out, maybe even another big severe weather event developing across the Midwest, continuing into the Ohio Valley, and just, continuing to bring some pretty big impacts even as this heads into the Carolinas, rather, as we get into Thursday, March 20th. So this is going to be another big storm to keep an eye on, but as of right now, our main focus is going to be this one, as it is going to be bringing widespread severe weather to much of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, perhaps the southern Great Lakes region, and as well as the deep south. It just remains uncertain whether this will be a strong storm or this is gonna just bring, a little bit of severe weather. Who really knows, because we're still heading about 10 days out. But the least I can say, though, is that this will bring some pretty big impacts as we get into the end of next week. And if we take a look at why we are going to be seeing severe weather, you guys can see that we're going to have some huge CAPE values of around 1,000 joules per kilogram surging on in from the Gulf, likely bringing severe weather potential across this entire corridor right here that I am circling, which would be a much larger severe weather event compared to what we have been dealing with. So that will be something to watch very closely, as some of that energy could even make it over there into parts there of the northeast, bringing chances for isolated showers and even a few thunderstorms. But even over here along the east coast, we will also need to watch for that, and then maybe even a larger surge of energy as we get into March 20th, which once again, still really far out. Can't really say exactly if this is going to happen, but just another storm to keep an eye on closely, as it is the time of year where we experience frequent severe weather events. Let's now go ahead and take a look at our temperatures. Now, this is what's going to give us the idea about why we are also experiencing severe weather, and you guys can see that we still have a cold front still bringing some colder temperatures across the east, but then we will start to warm up quite a bit, especially as we get into next week, with widespread above normal temperatures just continuing for days, and especially as we get into the end of next week on Saturday, March 15th, where we're going to have well above normal temperatures surge on in from the Gulf. And that's exactly the reason why we're going to be seeing the severe weather potential a little farther to the north as we get into the end of next week, which once again will be on March 15th, where we're just going to have so much warm air surge on in. And once again, that really does set the stage for potentially a widespread severe weather event across the Great Lakes region, Midwest, Ohio Valley, and as well as the deep south. And we could even see another round of that as we get into Thursday, March 20th, where we're going to be seeing the same thing, where we just see well above normal temperatures across the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Midwest, and as well as the deep south, bringing another large and major severe weather event. And then it looks like we'll just continue to stay warm from there. So all those things are definitely looking on the concerning side of things, but it's still a little far out to where things will likely still shift around a little bit. So I would probably take the Thursday, March 20th storm with a grain of salt, as that one is over 10 days out. But the one that's expected to occur at the end of next week, which will be on March 15th, that one you guys should be paying attention to, as we are only hanging about 10 days out with that storm. But once again, things could still shift around a little bit and also change, so we will need to be watching it very closely. The other thing I want to look at is going to be our total rainfall and also our total snowfall, and perhaps even looking at the wind gusts. Starting off by looking at the wind gusts, you guys can see that with these next few storms that will roll on through, we will be tracking the potential for strong wind gusts as we get into the middle of next week. Winds could gust anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour across the Central Plains, and then we'll even have another big round of wind gusts roll on through. Look at this. We are seeing potentially a similar event like what we were seeing over the past few days, as winds could gust anywhere from 40 to even 50 miles per hour across this entire area right here. So we are going to have another pretty large wind event to watch for. It doesn't look like we'll see as much 60 mile per hour wind gusts with this storm, but it's still something to keep an eye on closely, as we're even going to have some backside wraparound winds, even bringing another shot of 50 mile per hour wind gusts to parts there of the Ohio Valley, and then maybe even a stronger round of winds rolling on through as we get into Thursday, March 20th, which once again, still uncertain, but we will at least be watching the potential for some strong winds as we get into the end of next week, which will be something to watch closely. And even though this model only shows wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, there's a chance we could be seeing high wind warnings really anywhere in this corridor right here. Now, let's also take a look at our total rainfall as well. You guys can see that when looking at our total rainfall from now all the way to the, March 22nd time frame, which will be for Saturday, not next week, but the week after. You guys can see that as we get into March 22nd, we will be tracking some really high amounts of rainfall as we get into the next couple of weeks. Highest amounts will most likely be down here in the deep south, where we could be seeing some flooding issues, but we could even be seeing the same thing over here across the western United States. And look at that, Southern California, around the Los Angeles region, potentially over 2 inches of rainfall, guys, during the next couple of weeks, which isn't good news. But same with those in the Sierra Nevadas, which are seeing a lot of snowfall. Look at that, over a foot of rain is, very high for the Sierra Nevadas. Over a foot of rain would equal about 12 feet of snow, which is ridiculous. And then, of course, if we look at our total snowfall too as well, you guys can see that when looking at the total snowfall, once again, well over 48 inches of snowfall is expected across the Sierra Nevadas, as those rainfall totals are about equal to around 12 inches of rain, which is crazy, as we're going to have several of those atmospheric river events rolling on through. Same for the Cascade Mountains, over 48 inches possible as we get into the next couple of weeks. And we could even be seeing the same thing across the higher elevations in Idaho, Utah, Montana, even down there in Colorado, even over there into parts of Arizona, Nebraska. All those areas are really going to be seeing the potential for some higher snowfall amounts. And even over here across the Great Lakes region and Northeast, chance of maybe around a half a foot to a foot of snowfall in some areas, but I would take that with a grain of salt, as we're going to be seeing more of that warmer air roll on through as we get into the next couple of weeks. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's forecast. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will more than likely be here for you guys if there is a big severe weather event rolling on through. And once again, make sure to turn on all notifications so that way you guys don't miss out on any of my future videos or live streams that we do here on this channel. And if you haven't got the word out to everyone yet, make sure to like today's video and share it with friends, family, or anyone who you know on social media. Not only does that help support the channel a lot, but I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Thursday out there. Hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.